time for the one and the only show. It's the Luke Howard Show Live. Well, thank you. Hello, morning. Hope you're all well. Welcome to the end of the week show. It is Friday the 14th of August, which means it is Friday, our last Friday show of this month, would you believe? Because next week I won't be here from Thursday, so there'll be no show next Friday. I know, little holiday for me. I'm on my little holidays from next Thursday, so... because I'm going to be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, and then I'm off for about, I think it's a week and a half-ish, so I'll be off from Thursday until Sunday the 30th, because I'm going to be back on the 31st with the bank holiday special, and then I'll be back fully from the 1st until the 5th, and then after Saturday the 5th, I'm going to be back to normal, which will be on Saturdays live, 10 till 10:45am. So, coming up on the show today, we're going to be talking about news, of course, news that's breaking today, as always. Of course, the day's news that is breaking. And one of them pieces of news is, well, I've chosen two pieces of news. One is that France, because this is breaking, this piece of news, France is to be added to the UK quarantine countries. We're going to discuss that on the show today. And then we're also going to be talking about what's going to be, because from tomorrow, lockdown is going to be easing a bit more better. So they're going to make it a bit more better for people. There's lots of things that they're going to do, so I'm going to just describe it all and say what's going on, the bits and bobs, what is going to be easing and what isn't going to be easing. So we'll get to that on the show today. And we're also talking about VJ Day, which is Victory Japan Day. So we're going to be talking about that as well, which is today and tomorrow. It's going to be today and tomorrow over the weekend, the VJ Day. So we'll talk about that later on in a little while. And so we've got lots of things to look forward to on the show today. So, so lots of things to look forward to, Angie. But first, I must say how you, dear listener, can get in touch with Britain's Best Radio Show today. Now, if you scroll down underneath where this show is being broadcast right now, you can leave a message below and let me know who you are, what you're doing, where you're from, and I'd love to give you a mention on Britain's Best Radio Show today. I call it Britain's Best Radio Show because it is Britain's Best Radio Show. Of course it is, on Britain's brightest best radio show. Yes, so that is one way you can get in touch with the show. I will write a message below just to say what's going on and stuff, so you can write whatever, or you can find me on Instagram at the Luke. It's the Luke Howard fan page. It's the Luke Howard fan page on Instagram. That's a great way to get in touch there. Or you can message me on there, DM me, direct message me on there. Or you can find me on email. It's GaryJHoward68@hotmail.com. And I've said this every day. The other email that I'm having a bit of trouble with at the moment, but from Monday, I would believe it's going to be sort of fixing a little bit more. So I should be able to be getting your messages from Monday, this Monday coming. So I am having a bit of trouble with my emails. So the best email to email will be GaryJHoward68@hotmail.com. Or you can, what else can you do? Or you can text me, 07593 847 105. Do text me if you would like to. Or you can call that number as well, and I shall get back to you on the show, because obviously I get in about 20 to 10ish, quarter to 20 to 10 I get in, so, and I look up all your emails and messages and stuff, so if I do see yours, I will mention it on the show, because I get so many emails and messages and stuff, so if yours is to do with the show, then I will know that it is to do with that, so I will get back to you via there, or you can find me on hashtags, hashtag Luke Howard, or this hashtag Luke Howard Show, or hashtag listen to the Luke Howard Show. There are lots of ways how you can contact me on the show, which is great. So if you'd like to, go ahead, be my guest if you'd like to. I say if you'd like to, though. So, okay, let's start off then by talking about what's in the news today. What is breaking in the news today? Weather's not great out there. It's not going to be great weather today. It's going to be a bit grim. By the way, it's a bit, once again, there is going to be thunder and lightning today sometime. I'm not quite sure when, but I know it's sometime today. So, look out for it, because yesterday it was really bad. But then it was alright, and then by the evening, did you hear that thunder? The thunder last night, oh my god, it was so loud. It's so loud, that thunder. It was so loud. I'm sure you heard it as well. I mean, I was in my bed about 10 o'clock last night, right? 10 o'clock last night. And all I heard was... Really, really, it woke me right up, because I went to bed about 9 o'clock last night. I thought I'd have an early night. And I was fast asleep, sort of ish. And it woke me up at 10 o'clock, so I only had an hour's sleep. 10 p.m. I was awake. I went about at 9, woke up at 10, and then, because I got awoken by the thunderstorm. So, if you got awoken by the thunderstorm, I hope you were okay by then, but, by it, I mean, it just struck, and it just woke me up, sort of thing, and it was just really, really loud. So, anyway, that was my moan about the, weather, of course, because it was a bit, bad last night, so, yeah. Right, okay, France now is to be added to the UK quarantine countries. Let's talk about the news, because France is to be added to the UK quarantine countries. Now, the thousands of holidaymakers who are in France at this minute have seen their plans thrown into chaos after the UK quarantine measures were imposed on France from last Saturday. The 14-day isolation quarantine began at 4 a.m. BST, and also applies to people arriving from the Netherlands, Monaco, Malta, Turks and Caicos and Arbor. It comes after France's Prime Minister acknowledged infection numbers were going the wrong way. France warned that it would take reproachable measures. Now, this is Bruni, France's Secretary of the State for European Affairs. He tweeted that the UK's decision was a matter of regret for the French. Now, Transport Secretary Grant Shapps, and the decision was, he said that the decision was triggered when the rate of infection in the affected countries exceeded 20 cases per 100,000 people over 7 days. They've worked so hard in the country to get the level of infections down, and the last thing that they want to do is to have people returning and bringing the infection with them, is to protect everybody. Now, there are about 160,000 British holidaymakers currently in France at this very, very, very moment. So right now in France, there are 160,000 people on holiday there. The deadline is expected to induce to rush to ports and airports, with thousands of tourists desperate to avoid quarantine. Others who cannot return in time and face disruption to work or schooling. Now, Katie, a teacher on holiday in the south of France, she told a radio programme that the 12-hour drive to the Channel crossing means that she has the chance to return in time. So she and her children will miss the start of term. Now, they have done everything the government has asked of us for months, but they really think that they need to treat them all with a little respect and give them time to organise themselves so that they can continue with their jobs and their children with their lives. Now, the Eurotunnel website is reportedly struggling to deal with the volume of inquiries. Now, only a Flackerby, who is trying to return from the mountain resort of Tignes with her family, she said that every time I try to change the ticket, the website is busy, and people would be able to make informed decisions if they had been told in advance. Of course, if they were told in advance, then it would all be fine. But it's annoying and frustrating. Of course it's annoying and frustrating. But John Kifferty, Director of Public Affairs, this is that GetLink, which operates the Channel Tunnel, told another news programme that Friday today was already a peak return to the UK day, and that places had mostly gone. He warned that people do not need to travel to the terminal without a confirmed booking. There is no space available, but some holidaymakers said they would accept the quarantine restrictions on their return. Now, Jonathan Flextrick from Woodbridge in Suffolk, which is literally a couple of counties away from here, he's not due to return from France with his family until the 18th of August, which is Monday. This Monday coming. He came fully, not Monday, Tuesday. This Tuesday, sorry. Yeah, I keep thinking it's a Monday. It's not. The 18th is a Tuesday, not a Monday. I know it's not a Monday. Come on, Luke, get thinking. Yeah, it's Tuesday, the 18th. Tuesday is the 18th of August. He said, we came fully accepting the risk that we were taking the quarantine of being introduced, and we are not going to be rushing back. Airlines UK described the quarantine restrictions as another devastating blow to travel the industry, already feeling from the worst crisis in its history. The UK's ambassador to France, Lord Llewellyn, acknowledged that the new quarantine risk rule would be unwelcome news for Britons in the country, but stressed that people could continue with their holidays as long as they follow safety restrictions and self-isolate on their return. Now, Shadow Home Secretary, this is Nick Thomas-Symonds, said while the Labour Party supports evidence-based measures as the border, it was virtual that Number 10 had a joined-up strategy and urgently puts in place a specific deal to support the heavily impacted air travel sector. Now, the MP added that the government has still not put in place an effective track, trace and isolate system, has made matters far worse, and that made it more likely that we are going to be relevant in the blunt tool for a 14-day quarantine. He called on Downing Street, though, to publish science behind its decisions and a details of any work being done. This is to reduce the time that was needed to self-isolate through increased testing and other measures. Now, according to the data company Statista, people from the UK paid £10.35 million to visit to France last year. They were putting it second behind Spain, with 18.12 million in terms of popularity. The Foreign Office is now warning against all but essential travel to France. The quarantine measure was imposed to Spain on the 25th of July. The list of more than 50 countries' so-called travel corridors, allowing movement between the UK and the other countries with the need to self-isolate on returns, was published at the start of last month and later expanded. By the ending of some of the expectations, the list follows a significant change, though, in the risk of contracting the COVID-19, and the Department for Travel has also said that added that there had been a 66% increase in newly reported cases per 100,000 people in France since last Friday. For the Netherlands, it was up to 52% now, and the increase for Malta, I think Malta is in Spain, it was 105%, while it was 273%, and Turks and Caicos, and the 1,106% for Urban. Now, ahead of the government meeting in the new measures, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, which is our Prime Minister, yes, our Prime Minister, he promised to be absolutely ruthless in deciding on the rules for holidaymakers from abroad. You see, we can't be remotely a compliment about our own situation, but everybody understands that in a pandemic, you don't allow the population to be reinfected for a disease to come back in here. He also added that on Thursday, yesterday, France reached 2,524 new coronavirus cases in 24 hours. The highest daily increase since lockdown was lifted in May. The country's Prime Minister, Jean Castex, said that on Tuesday, the coronavirus numbers had been going the wrong way for a fortnight. Now, okay, so, sip my cup of tea, that's it, sip my cup of tea, that's it. Now, meanwhile, the government has announced the maximum fines for people, I think it's in England, who rapidly refuse to wear a face covering. Now, I saw it on ITV News the other day. They were talking about, there was a co-op, I think it's in Liverpool, and they have had so many abuse. People going in there, not wearing a face mask, rowling with people. So I know where they're coming from with the UK and the rows with not wearing a face mask, because the co-op in Liverpool, there's been a lot of them in Liverpool that have been having rows. There was a lady working there who was threatened to be stabbed as well. So there has been a lot of bad sides of this been going on up north in Liverpool. So if you are going to a co-op and you do see all of that going on, just to be very careful and be aware, okay, for if you do see any of those sort of situations happen. Of not wearing a mask. I mean, if you've got a disability like myself, because I haven't got to wear a face mask at all, so because of my disability, so I haven't got to wear one, so I'm in the good side here. But from Sunday, indoor theatre, music and performance venues will be able to reopen with socially distanced audiences. Or I'm just hearing that while organisers of illegal raves could face a £10,000 penalty. Now, from Sunday, indoor theatre, music and performance venues will be able to reopen. We are going to talk about this in a moment, but with socially distanced audiences. Now, casinos, bowling alleys is what we are going to be talking about tomorrow. Skating drinks, which is very unlikely to be open at this very moment because it's not Christmas time. And soft play areas will also be allowed to be resumed, and will close contact beauty services such as facial